Hello dear friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to continue the next point of this topic, that's a mechanism of the photosynthesis. So what's that point? Photosynthesis occurs in a tiny structure inside the cell, and that tiny structure it says as the chloroplast. As in the last video we see the site of photosynthesis. That site of photosynthesis is the chloroplast. The chloroplast carried out light reaction in the thylakoid. Why it's carried out the light reaction? Because in the thylakoids there is a presence of the, do you remember? There is a presence of the conchosomes, and the conchosomes containing the photosynthetic pigments. So the light reactions which is carried out in the thylakoid and the dark reaction which is occurred in the stroma. The photosynthesis involves the two forms of reaction, that is a light dependent reaction. It's having the non-cyclic and the cyclic photophosphorylation, and the dark reaction where the energy is utilized which is formed in the light dependent reaction. So what's the source of oxygen? Whether it is come from the carbon dioxide or whether it is come from the water. So for these, various scientists gives the various forms of the opinion. So the first of all, the source of oxygen, it is simplified equation of the photosynthesis. It is not clear whether the oxygen it is produced come from carbon dioxide or it is come from the water. For a long time it was assumed that oxygen produced during the photosynthesis come from the carbon dioxide, and the carbon combined with water to make the sugar. So what's the normal equation? The equation is a form, that is the 6CO2 plus 6 water molecule, and there is a formation of the C6H12O6 plus 6 oxygen molecule. But afterward that Van Niel in 1931 shows that photosynthetic bacteria do not produce oxygen, though they used carbon dioxide. He gave a hypothesis that all the photosynthetic organisms need a source of hydrogen. In purple green sulfur bacteria, in purple and the green sulfur bacteria, he found the sulfur was released but not oxygen, meaning that carbon dioxide was not split, rather the H2S was broken down and the hydrogen reduced the carbon dioxide. So what's that Van Niel equation, experimental equation? That is a 6CO2 plus 12 H2S in presence of light, energy and the chlorophyll. There is a formation of the C6H12O6 plus 12 sulfur is formed, and the 6 water molecule is formed. So based on the same principle, it was assumed that water gets split into hydrogen and the oxygen, and the oxygen is released as a byproduct, while the hydrogen combined with carbon dioxide to produce the sugar. Afterward that Rubin and the Kamen experiment which is worked out in 1941, that is confirmed it is in chlorella. So what's that experiment? That is this Rubin and the Kamen work out the principle which is based on the Van Niel hypothesis and rare isotope of oxygen. So the Rubin used the heavy isotope of oxygen. This heavy isotope of oxygen, it is the 18 oxygen, that is the 80 oxygen which is used by the Rubin and the Kamen. So what is that Rubin and the Kamen experiment? After performing this experiment, Rubin and the Kemen proved that the oxygen which is evolved in the photosynthesis which is come from the water. So how it's possible? That is, when the 6 CO2 is there and the 12 water molecule, but when the 12 water molecule is considered, the oxygen it containing the heavy isotope. So what's there is a formation of the C6H12O6. There is a release of the normal water molecule, but there is a release of the heavy isotope of oxygen molecule. So on that basis, the Rubin and the Kemen, that is the Samuel Rubin and the Martin Kemen, proved that the source of oxygen it is not the carbon dioxide, but it is come from the water itself. After what is put forth by the Rubin and the Kemen, it is true. So that whether it is true or false, so that the Robert Hill work out the experiment. So what's that Robert Hill experiment? This Robert Hill in 1937, the Robert Hill cultured the isolated chloroplast in a medium containing the water. Isolated chloroplast in a medium containing water, that is on devoid of any trace of the dissolved carbon dioxide and the ferric compound. On illumination means what? That is, it is exposed to the light. He observed that there is a change in the color of the ferric compound due to reduction, that is caused by the hydrogen removed from the water through its photolysis. The source of evolved oxygen must be from the water, not from the carbon dioxide. This observed directly proves that the hydrogen comes from the water. The oxygen which is come from the hydrogen come from the water as a result of photolysis, and the oxygen is evolved. As this Rubin and the Kemen, by using the isotopic oxygen, confirm the Hill's finding. Afterward, by adding, so what's that? After adding the hemoglobin in a culture medium, one can directly prove that the source of evolving oxygen is the water. This is because due to the action of the evolved oxygen, the hemoglobin turns the red in color, forming the oxyhemoglobin. This is confirmed that the water must be oxidized, releasing the oxygen. That is, it is react with the hemoglobin, so there is a formation of the oxyhemoglobin. The Hills indirectly prove that the source of evolving oxygen is the water, not the carbon dioxide. Afterward so what's that Hill reaction? Hills prove that in the photosynthesis, oxygen is released from the water. This is the most important point. The electron for the reduction of carbon dioxide, it is obtained from the water. According to the Arnon, in this process, the light energy, it is converted it into the chemical energy. The energy, it is stored in the form of ATP and the NADP. It is formed as a hydrogen acceptor, means the NADP, it is combined with the hydrogen which is come from the water, and there is the formation of the NADP H2. This ATP formation, it is says as the photophosphorylation. So you can see here that is a light reaction. This light reaction, it contains the thylakoid pigments. This thylakoid pigments, it is containing the photosynthetic pigment. That is, this photosynthetic pigment, it absorbs the light energy. The water which is come from the root and the oxygen which is released with the help of this solar energy, that is a light energy, there is a synthesis of the chemical form of energy, that is the ATP and the NADP. This ATP and the NADP which is used in the dark reaction, that is in the stroma, and there is again the formation of the NADP and the ATP. During this process there is a release of the food, that is the carbohydrate, and during this process there is a release of the oxygen molecule. The next phenomena we see, that is the chlorophyll A. This chlorophyll A, it's excited. So why this chlorophyll A is excited? The chlorophyll A is an essential photosynthetic pigment, as it converts the light energy into the chemical energy. This is a very important fact. So this chlorophyll A, it says as a reaction center. This chlorophyll A, it says as a reaction center. Initially, this chlorophyll A, which is present in the ground state, or it is says as a singlet state, but when it absorbs the light energy, in the form of photon, it get activated and it get become excited. And due to the excitation, it emits. Due to the excitation, it is emitted. It is excited and it emits the electron towards the outer orbit. Due to the loss of electron, the chlorophyll A, it is entered into the ionized state. So it says as the chlorophyll A, it become positive charge. So this chlorophyll A molecule cannot remain in the ionized state for more than 10 raised to minus 9 seconds. Hence a photochemical reaction, the electron transfers occurred very fast. As this chlorophyll A, it is tried to come back to the ground state. During this, there is a loss or the emit the energy which is utilized for the synthesis of the ATP molecule. As this energy, which is means the light energy, it is converted into the chemical form of energy by synthesizing the ATP molecule. When the electron, it is tried to come back into the ground state. So this chlorophyll A, it is says as the essential pigment. Hope so you understood it. Thanks for watching my video. Stay tuned to my channel. Thank you.